Good morning, students. So today we are studying our next topic, that is control and coordination in animals. In this chapter, control and coordination, we have already completed the control and coordination in case of plants, and now we will study the control and coordination in case of animals. So in case of animals, the process of control and coordination, it occurs with the help of nervous system. With the help of nervous system. And this nervous system in animals, it consists of some specialized cells, and these cells are known as the nerve cells, or these are also known as neurons. And these neurons are responsible for controlling and coordinating the activities in case of animals. Further, the simple organism, that is, we are talking about the simple multicellular organism. So in case of simple multicellular organism or animals, they contains a network of neurons or nerve cells, a network of neurons or nerve cells, which controls and coordinates their activities. Whereas the organism like Hydra, the simple organism like Hydra, in these organisms, the control and coordination occurs with the help of nervous system only. With the help of nervous system only. But if we talk about the higher multicellular organism, that is higher multicellular organism, then is in these higher multicellular organism, the control and coordination occurs with the help of nervous system. Along with this nervous system, the control and coordination occurs with the help of endocrine system. This endocrine system includes your all glands present in the body of animals and the hormones which are secreted by these glands. Now, these animals, they are provided with specific type of receptors. Animals are provided with specific type of receptors which are present in their body, and these receptors, they receive a stimulus of specific type. So animals, they are provided with receptors, and these receptors receive a stimulus of specific type. For example, the receptors includes the photoreceptors. These photoreceptors, in case of animals, they are present in eyes, and they detect light. Second type of receptors, that is phonoreceptors. These phonoreceptors are present in ears, and they detect sound. The third type of receptors, that is olfactory receptors. These olfactory receptors, these are present in our nose, and they detect smell. The fourth type of receptors, that is known as gustatory receptors. These gustatory receptors, they are present in our, or they are present on our tongue, and they detect taste. The fifth type of receptors, that is thermoreceptors. These thermoreceptors, as the name includes, that is, they are present in our skin, and they detect cold or heat. That is, they detect the temperature. So all these receptors, they receive a stimulus of specific type, and then they send this stimulus in the form of message to brain or spinal cord with the help of the sensory cells or the nerve cells. These nerve cells which carries the message from receptor up to brain or spinal cord, they are known as sensory neurons. Now in our brain or spinal cord, the message gets processed, and the response of brain or spinal cord, it is carried by another type of neurons from brain and spinal cord up to the effector organ, and the nerve cells or neurons which are carrying this message or respond are known as motor neurons. Now effector organ is an organ present in our body that responds to a stimulus. It may be in the form of muscle, it may be in the form of a finger. Now in next we will study about the control and coordination in case of human beings. So in case of human beings, the control and coordination occurs with the help of nervous system, and along with it, it also occurs with the help of endocrine system. So in human beings, the control and coordination occurs with the help of nervous system and endocrine system. And these two systems in case of human beings, they works in coordination with each other in order to bring the control and coordination. Now the human nervous system, it receives the information or message from its surroundings, then it processes that message, it interprets that message, and then responds to that message. And this response or interpreting of nervous system to some stimuli, it is carried out with the help of specialized cells which are present in human nervous system, and these cells are known as neurons or nerve cells. So neurons or nerve cells are the structural and functional and the physical units of human nervous system, with the help of which the control and coordination is carried out in humans. Now we will study about the structure and function of these neurons. Now we will study about the structure of neuron. So this neuron, it is the largest or longest cell present in the human body, and these neurons, they are responsible for carrying the message in the form of nerve impulse from receptor to brain or spinal cord, and from brain or spinal cord up to the effector organ. So in case of human beings, the neurons, they consist of three body parts, that is the cytone, the dendrites, these fibers which are coming out of cytone, they are known as dendrites. These are dendrites. Then this cytone, it is also known as soma or cell body, and then this part, that is axon. At the end of axon are present terminal and fibers. Now this cytone or cell body, like any other cell of animal body, it consists of the cytoplasm, it consists of a single large nucleus, and in the cytoplasm of this cytone are present some granule-like substance which are known as Nissl granules. These Nissl granules are basically RER, that is rough endoplasmic reticulum, which contains ribosomes on their surface, and they are responsible for the synthesis of proteins. Now the second part, that is dendrites. These dendrites are numerous fibers which are coming out of the cytone, and these dendrites are responsible for receiving message either from another neuron or from a receptor. So these dendrites are several or numerous fibers which are responsible for receiving the message in the form of nerve impulse either from another neuron or from any receptor. Now come to the axon. This axon, it is the longest fiber coming out of the cytone, and the point where the axon joins the cytone, that is this point where the axon joins the cytone, it is known as axon hillock. Axon hillock. So axon hillock is the point of attachment between the axon and the cytone, and axon is the longest fiber coming out of the cytone. Now at the end of this axon are present the terminal and fibers. Now this axon, it is insulated by a protective sheath, and this sheath, that is shown in green color, this sheath, it is made up of myelin protein. It is made up of myelin protein, that's why this green sheath, it is known as myelin sheath. But this myelin sheath is not continuous, it is present in discontinuous form, and the place where this myelin sheath is absent, the region where the myelin sheath is absent, that region is known as node of Ranvier. Node of Ranvier. Now, these dendrites of a neuron, they receives the message from the stimulus in the form of nerve impulse, and then these dendrites, they transmit this message in the form of nerve impulse to the cytone or cell body, and from cytone or cell body, the message in the form of nerve impulse, it is transmitted to axon, and then this message travels through this axon up to the terminal end fibers. So here we have drawn the terminal end fiber of one neuron and the dendrite of another neuron. So when the message in the form of nerve impulse it reaches to the terminal end fiber, these terminal ends of an axon contains some vesicles which are shown in green color. So these vesicles are known as synaptic vesicles. These vesicles are known as synaptic vesicles. So a message is always transferred from one neuron, from the terminal end fiber of one neuron to the dendrite of another neuron by a small gap that is present between two neurons, and this small gap that is shown here, it is known as synapse. So when the message in the form of nerve impulse it travels through the axon, it reaches to the terminal end fibers. In the terminal end fibers are present the synaptic vesicles. These synaptic vesicles contains a neurotransmitter, that is a chemical. So when the nerve impulse reaches to the terminal end fiber, these synaptic vesicles, they get fused with the membrane of terminal end fibers. So they get fused with the membrane of terminal end fibers, and they releases their chemical secretion. So they releases the secretion in this gap that is present between two neurons, that is between synapse. Now this chemical, that is a message, chemical message, it is received by the receptors which are present in the dendrites of another neuron. So in this way, the message in the form of nerve impulse, it is transmitted from one neuron to another neuron, and finally this message, it reaches to your brain or spinal cord, and then brain and spinal cord, it processes that information or message, it interprets that and then responds to it accordingly. So in this video, you have to go through all these video, then you have to draw this diagram, and then you have to understand all this process. Okay, thank you students.